Thank you very much. Great introduction. Verbose twat is indeed right. I'm going to be using. I'm quite wordy. There's a lot of words in my act. Adjectives, verbs, nouns. All the big three. Pronouns, adverbs, conjunctions. Maybe if we've got time. I was lucky enough to. I was on a train recently, and I overheard a couple of girls chatting about their sex lives. They were trying to outdo one another with their dirtiest bedroom story. And eventually one came up with a story that the other one was unable to top. Spare the gory details. It boils down to her boyfriend ate a Mars bar out of her. Now, if you're anything like me, that raises a few more questions than it answers. The main one being, how does that topic get brought up in the bedroom? Was it proposed as a more cost-effective method than melted chocolate? I know a lot of couples use that to spice up their love lives. Maybe the guy was kind of, to be honest with you, love, I might Craig's been on the blink recently. Melted chocolate, it's expensive, it stains the sheets, but I'll tell you what, I was filling up at Asda recently, and I saw that the petrol station doing an offer on Mars bars. Now, before you say anything, promise me you'll hear me out on this one. Or, I don't know, maybe it was her idea. He comes home from work, he's had a hard day, shoes off at the door, shrugs his jacket off, briefcase on the table, jacket on the back of the chair. He's had a hard day, he's not an animal. But at the corner of his eye, he sees something on the floor in the middle of the kitchen. A little piece of black wrapper with just a hint of red lettering on it. He knows it's familiar, he's seen it before, he can't place it. Picks it up, sees another one leading out, up the stairs. They've been placed strategically like rose petals. As if someone wants him to follow them. And follow them he does. Up the stairs, to the main bedroom, knocks on the door, no answer. Opens the door, pitch darkness, turns on the light, and he gets a bit of a shock. His girlfriend spread-eagled, a Mars bar where a Mars bar shouldn't go, ever. He's shocked. I thought they stopped doing double-deckers ages ago. But it's the sort of thing that if you did enjoy, if you did get a taste for it, you couldn't have it all the time. It's not like you could stumble in half cup from the pub and go, you know what I fancy? It's just not feasible. Every time after that, he'd be eating a Twix going, it's just not the same. My ears are too cold. But I think the strain, after a while, would start to show in the relationship. He'd be nudging her awake 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, raising his eyebrows, holding a Kit Kat chunky suggestively. She'd be nudging him away. I'm not in the mood. I've got work in the morning. I'm not in the mood. And he'd start to look for his chocolate fix elsewhere. He'd be online. He'd agree to meet up with an American sex tourist. He'd go over to her house, a rucksack full of Reese's Pieces, and eventually, through some fault of his own, maybe on some level he wanted to get caught, she finds out, confronts him. It's something elementary, a chocolate stain on his collar, a Hershey bar in his pocket. They have a blazing row, he storms out. The next week's a whirlwind of Asda brand cake bars and cheap whores, we've all been there. They sit down, they reconcile, he agrees that the best thing would be for him to just move out. She's helping him move out the next week. Their hands touch on a box. Their eyes meet, a rekindling of the old flame, perhaps. He takes a Mars bar out of his pocket and says, one last snack, for old time's sake. But as much as I judge, and I am judging, as much as I judge, I've been single for quite a while now, and no surprise there. I've been single for quite a while now, and I'm gradually realising it's very, very difficult to eat a Mars bar out of your own arsehole. And that's it from me. I'm surprised that wasn't 4 minutes, to be honest with you.
I'll explain.
Was the strobe not working?
Go Miles!